South Africa has started 2023 with stage 6 power cuts and fears of a total system collapse if rolling blackouts are not stopped. The continuous power cuts have left businesses and citizens highly frustrated. Now, despite the constant lack of electricity, energy regulator NERSA went ahead and granted power utility Eskom an 18.6% right to increase the electricity. And of course, that's going to have a huge impact on budget-pinched consumers already. Reporter Nqobile Madlala following the story and joins us now for an update. A very good morning to you once again, Nqobile. When we spoke earlier on, you spoke about issues around safety at Chisanyama establishments and car washes, where people or patrons like to enjoy that vibe, if you will, until late into the evening, but they can't because it's dark and it's not safe, and that having an impact on business owners in those communities. You've now spoken to community members. What are they saying?
Well, I think one of the major issues that just have come out, we've heard with the leaders speaking to the community, just talking about the fact that quite a lot of them experience load shedding that goes longer than the hours that are meant to be implemented for. Just talking about the fact that that has also a huge role in playing those issues with regards to crime and so on. But let's bring him in, Nqobile Madlala, to speak to us about those issues. Perhaps I heard you speak to the people, but if you could let us know, how are they affected when there's no power for longer hours?
Thank you very much. Look, in the informal settlements, the poorest of the poor are the hardest hit. As we speak right now, as you arrived, there's no electricity. And there has not been electricity in this particular area, in the Mayville area, for more than 3 days. So we wonder what kind of load shedding is exempted for which type of people, because here load shedding takes more than people are no longer buying meat, people are no longer buying things for their children to go to school because those things are going to get rotten. We don't know whether there's a schedule for people who are living in informal settlement and there's a schedule for people who are living in the rural areas and those who live in the suburb. But here, the load shedding is not the same as those in the suburb. There's no schedule here. It takes 3 days, as you can see as we were driving past here, that people were blockading the road because they had enough that this is no longer load shedding for them. It's worse than ever before. People are resorting to making fire in order for them to cook. Times are hard. It's unfortunate that the government thinks about increasing the electricity while people are already suffering in the way they are right now.
Do they feel safe here?
Well, it's very dark when electricity is gone. There's a lot of crime in the area. People are being robbed. So particularly for women, because remember, there are no basic services in the informal settlement. People have to relieve themselves in the bush and everywhere else. It makes it even worse for people who are living in informal settlement to actually, when Mother Nature calls and they have to go to relieve themselves. It's very difficult for women. It's very difficult for children. It's very difficult for everyone who lives in this area because it becomes dark. It's not the only area. We've had complaints from other areas as well, as we have seen that people are protesting, resorting to protest as a way of vasting their anger about the electricity crisis that we are facing.
So we were in Mayville just last week hearing about this protest, but we heard that people had gotten electricity back. Have you maybe spoken to eThekwini municipality to sort of find out why the power is not there anymore? And what is the solution from your take?
Well, at the moment, there hasn't been any explanation from the municipality. We have not heard anything from the municipality. All we know so far is that there are other challenges besides Eskom within the city in as far as providing electricity. But the question that we are having, why are these problems only affecting the poorest of the poor in the informal settlements and in the low-cost housing? Why it's not affecting people who are living in Durban North and elsewhere? Why must we bend the brands as the poorest of the poor? So it's a crisis that we are facing. It seems like the poorest of the poor are the ones who are who are not prioritized when it comes to issues of electricity.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's Nqobile Madlala from Abahlali in Jondolo. But just highlighting there, Rafiwa, that it's important that everybody is treated equally when it comes to load shedding.